Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 210 Show. We're glad you could join us tonight. Today, we're going to cover some NFL, some college football. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do the introductions.
This is Angry Joey.
The hater with facts is back, baby.
This is Mr. Raider in the house.
I'm Tony.
I am Woo Pig Suey.
All right, fellas. Well, I hope y'all's Thanksgiving and holidays was really good. I know I ate too much damn turkey and ham. So let's get started, though. Let's talk about some college football. Woo Pig, you're up.
All right, man. Well, it was an exciting weekend, rivalry weekend. So we got to watch, what I consider one of the best weekends of college football, one of the best weekends of sports, in my opinion, because NFL was great too on Sunday. So we'll go over a few games first. So the first one, Miami versus Pittsburgh. It's one of the games we talked about as a potential upset. Well, Miami made sure that wasn't going to happen. So Miami beat Pittsburgh 38-7. Going into the game, Miami was 13, Pitt was 24. So, ranking wise, they were pretty close, but Miami put a definitive whoop ass on Pitt. So
I was surprised by that. I really was, because I watched up some of that game. I was surprised. I thought it'd be more competitive. What about you, Tony Wittegas? Didn't you think it'd be more competitive? Because you've been talking about Pitt for a minute.
I did, man. They've been good. That's why they're moving up the ranks, And I think that was in Pittsburgh too, wasn't it? So
yeah,
that's a super, super impressive win. They want to make the playoffs with that. That was a statement game there.
What do you guys think of Carson Beck? He's the quarterback for Miami.
Yeah, well, remember he was in Georgia, right? He was in Georgia, and he had hype when he was super young. And I know he had that bad year, but he's definitely playing better this year. I get a couple bad games, but I mean, he has the pedigree, so I think he's probably fairly good. Usually, when you hear guys' names from since they're freshmen, they're probably pretty good, especially when they start to show it. So,
he had a pretty good game, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. So there's a pretty good showing for him in this Miami game for sure. I'm just wondering how he's going to do in the NFL.
I think he's a solid blue blood prospect as far as from college concerns, but NFL, man, he might just be like a backup, like a Mason Rudolph backup.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, he's boo-boo to me. I'm sorry. I have no faith in that dude. I'm sorry.
Well, next, let's talk about Georgia versus Georgia Tech. This is another one of those big rivalry games where this one was a whole lot closer. It was Georgia 16, Georgia Tech 9. Going into the game, Georgia was ranked number 4, Georgia Tech ranked 23. So there was an upset potential there, but Georgia was able to grind out a pretty good win versus a top 25 team. So Georgia has solidified their chances of making the playoffs. At this point, I think even if they were to lose in the SEC championship, I think they're going to stay in the playoffs. So next, and Hader, I might turn this one over to you. Next one, we've got Ohio State at Michigan. So in Ann Arbor, all eyes were on this game. It's the game. Undefeated number 1 Ohio State on the road, trying to finally break their losing streak versus Michigan. Was it 5 in a row, 4 in a row, something like that? 4 in a row.
It was 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Ohio State was able to have a pretty definitive win, 27-9. It was a pretty dominating win, 419 yards versus 163 yards.
Yeah.
In total yards for that. And Michigan only had 1 third down conversion all day. So I'm going to turn it over to Hader. Like, what'd you think about the game?
Nice question. Yeah, it is one of the worst games I've seen Michigan play, but it also on this show, I did say I had my concerns given the fact of what we did in primetime games all season. And I said that the Lamborghini had to be put on the road. Well, it didn't happen. Sharon Moore, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, played scared. Oh, I'm sorry. He coached scared. He coached scared all day. You can't go into a half, even though we were down, if I'm not mistaken, we were down 10-7, if I remember right. But Bryce Underwood only had 5 passes going into the half, and he had 18 for the game. I'm sorry, that is not a recipe to beat Ohio State, especially when, like I said last week, Jordan Marshall was coming into the game with a jacked up shoulder, and Justice Haynes was out with a foot injury. So you're down to your walk-on running back, even though you're a running team, and you have a 5-star quarterback. And the best you thought in a game plan was to have him throw 18 passes. Yeah, okay. Now look, as much as I don't like Ryan Day, as much as I don't like his all his hair dye that, all he uses is to dye his beard and all these types of things, you still got to respect it. You got to respect them, okay? They are defending national champions. You still got to respect them. And to me, to have that type of game plan is utterly disrespectful to the rivalry, is disrespectful to your opponent. And I'm sorry, Sharon Moore needs to be put on the hot seat. To me, it needs to be two focuses of this team going to next season. Number one, you got to find a stud wide receiver. I don't care how it happens. We have the money. Let's invest it. You need somebody who can beat one-on-ones. And as much as I like our true freshmen, Macaulay and Andrew Marsh, like they're decent guys, and I think they can improve. But you need that stud guy, much like how Ohio State has Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, and they were ready to go. And props to them. They took care of business. But we don't have that equal footing at the wide receiver position. We got everything else locked up. We just don't have that stud wide receiver. So we need to go ahead and get that.
Well,
Number two.
You might have them because I agree with you. You guys had ultra conservative play calling that whole game until you guys were in chase mode at the end.
Yeah.
You were ultra conservative, and I don't understand why, because you guys have horses, in the stable.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
My question is, Bobby Petrino is now on the free market, hiring him as an offensive coordinator.
God. Yes. Bring him up. I don't care. Whatever it costs. Look, if he need a harem, do he need a harem on the side? Fine. I don't care. I don't care. Look, I don't even remember who the guy who's the current offensive coordinator. I don't know who he is, but he stinks. He absolutely stinks. And if Sharon Moore is serious about getting this thing turned around, and just a little bit of other breaking news too that we might be able to get to, maybe not. Michigan State just hired Pat Fitzgerald as their head coach. So you already got Cignetti at Indiana. You have Ryan Day. Who knows what's going to happen with Penn State? I hope they get Brian Hartline from Ohio State, so that way that split that off a little bit. Yeah. But I don't know. So they haven't picked anybody, and now you have Pat Fitzgerald as coach at Michigan State. Offenses are really starting to pick up now in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So Sharon Moore, you need to get it together, bro, because you got about 12 months to show improvement, or you're going to be out the door. You saw what happened with Brian Kelly. We ain't got time to play.
Yeah. I definitely think that Bobby Petrino or somebody like that, like an offensive guru, swap out that offensive coordinator for somebody and then give them the reins when it comes to offense,
Yes. Yeah.
Would help Michigan immensely. So.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
When I was watching that game,
thing, taking it from somebody that's not a fan of either team, in fact, I hate both. But this rivalry is spectacular. I mean, it really is. I mean, you just can't script this any better. Wouldn't you say? I mean, look at what Ohio State did. You talk about disrespect. How they're putting the X on the M and putting Ohio and stuff like that in the snow.
Yeah.
Good, dude. I mean,
but we talked about this before. Like, the rivalry is really like that. Like they're petty as hell. They're just petty by nature anyway, right? So they're going to find any little thing, and they made a big deal about us playing the flag and stuff like that, and they wanted to make sure that they couldn't do it at Michigan Stadium. But so they decided to be more creative. Now, I will say this: I kind of want us to have a mascot so they can go and whoop Brutus's ass as soon as he tries to do some bullshit like that. We don't have one, so that's why he was allowed to do that, because we don't have a mascot per se, so we don't have anybody to go and actually attack him. So, but it's okay. They had their moment. It's fine. It's fine. Now it just resets the clock, like I told Monster this week. They just reset the clock. We know what we need to do. We just need to do it, and
Alright.
we got the funds to do it. So let's get it done.
Well, you guys will still get a good bowl game. Congratulations on the
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
next year's a new game, right? That's the
Yep.
beauty of college football. Every year is different. So
Yes. Yep. It
So
is.
all right.
what bowl game do they have there, Kyle? I mean, I
Oh, they
refresh
haven't
me.
they haven't they haven't announced those yet.
Yeah. They
But
haven't been released yet.
Okay.
but Michigan's still a ranked team. I think they're still in the top 20.
Okay.
So they'll end up getting a pretty good bowl somewhere.
Probably like New Year's Six. Probably a New Year's Six bowl. Probably. I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want us to get Texas. That's the only thing I don't want.
Why? Why
Texas
wouldn't
is
you want
going to be in a
Texas?
playoff.
No, they probably won't.
Well, that's my Tony. Tony would take. That's my hope. But to be quite honest, I don't want the conversation to be about Arch Manning versus Bryce Underwood. I don't. I just don't want that as a story leading into a bowl game. I'd rather give
Well,
us what give us Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying?
Ole Miss is going to be in the playoffs. Ole Miss is in the playoffs. Texas is not. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Maybe. What about Vanderbilt? Would you take Vanderbilt?
We'll take them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll knock them down a peg.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know about that either. Vanderbilt will smack that ass.
Speaking of Vanderbilt played Tennessee this week in Knoxville. So they went to Tennessee, and Vanderbilt put on a show. Vanderbilt beat Tennessee, who was number 18 in the country, so right around where Michigan was, beat them 45-24. So it was a dominating game. Diego Pavia, he went nuclear. He was 268 passing yards plus 165 rushing yards by the quarterback.
Man.
268 passing, 165 rushing, 2 total touchdowns. So he accounted for 433 yards by himself. That dude went off. So all total, Vandy had 582 total yards, 314 on the ground, 8.5 carries per carry. Yeah, it was just a bulldozing. So Vanderbilt was trying to make a point, trying to get into the playoffs. Right now, I think they're ranked. I think the disrespect, they beat a top 20 team and they dropped in the rankings. I've never seen that in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they dropped. So Vanderbilt is ranked 14th. So they were ranked, they went from 12 to 14.
Huh.
It's
That don't even make sense.
unfreaking believable that they had a performance like that. Absolutely mollywopped Tennessee.
A good team.
And, yeah, a really good team, and dropped in the rankings. So I feel for Vanderbilt because this is I think one of their best seasons ever. Like they had a 10-win season. They're 10-2. Their only 2 losses are to Alabama and Texas. So they lost to a top 10 team and a top 15 team. That's it. So, and they're still, on the outside looking in. So it's a rough one for Vandy. So, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, I mean, they might play Michigan, but if I was Michigan, I don't know if I'd necessarily want to see that.
I mean,
unless you just want a good old fashioned ass whooping.
Okay, SEC guy. Let's pump our brakes, okay? Let's pump our brakes. Who knows? And besides, who's to say, with all this newfound, success, they don't know we don't know how if they can handle success like that.
True.
We don't know.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I honestly, I think that would be a good game. Michigan versus Vanderbilt would be a good game.
And let's be real about something. Vanderbilt haven't played a meaningful game this long in a very long time. So this is new territory for them. They don't know.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
You mean you talk about the pressure? Okay.
Yeah. Having good bowl games, playing late in the January. They don't know what that's like.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you are dealing with kids. That's true.
Well, I mean, they're gonna be pissed off about the disrespect, though. I mean, come on, man.
Oh yeah, that's
going there
true.
with a chip on their shoulder.
That's true. But this is the thing. When you've been So this has been part of the argument that me and Wu Pig has had for years now, right? So when you're at the bottom of the SEC, what do the rankers and all these people, what they really think of you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much does that SEC fly? Like, how much does that really elevate you? You know what I mean? Is it truly disrespect, or is it like we just don't know you? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think Vandy's got a little bit of a moxie right now. All it would take would be Vegas coming out and putting the odds in the favor of Michigan. Watch out. At that
Oh
point,
boy.
if they feel disrespectful,
Yeah.
if they feel like they've been disrespected, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. That would be a good matchup. We'll see what happens. But all right, so the next game on the schedule or the last one I really want to talk about, Texas A&M at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So myself and Angry Joey, we picked this as our upset of the week, and we pulled it off. Texas went in at number 16 against number 3 Texas A&M, and Texas was able to pull off a pretty. I mean, it was 27-17, but it really wasn't that close.
I gotta
It was
say, I gotta say, there, Will Pig, that was a difficult one to pick. Just because Texas, they've been shit in the bed all year for the most part. Especially from Arch Bannon, and for them to actually go and play A&M and actually beat them. Now we understand that it's a rivalry game, and anything can happen during these kind of games. But I just had a gut feeling about this. Now, this is going to turn out to bite me in the ass, because I mean, with the Aggies actually losing that, guess who the Aggies are actually likely going to be playing in the first round of the playoffs? Yeah, my fucking Irish, and my wife is already talking shit. I mean,
Good deal.
That's good.
It just makes my heart hurt, I mean, because God help me if my Irish loses to them twice in the same season, especially fucking playoffs. Oh my God, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep in the same room with her.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'll tough it out.
We're doing this this podcast on Tuesday, and they just released the new college football rankings, and the brackets have Texas A&M versus Notre Dame.
That's
yeah,
what I
right.
saw that too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's so brutal, for the audience. My wife, she's so subtle with it. And it's, when I'm talking shit with you guys, it's one thing. When I'm talking shit with my wife, it's even worse because she's like, "Oh, I think that my Aggies might have a chance. I think that they might be able to take you guys again." And I'm like, "Oh, you suck."
Yeah, and you got to watch your mouth because
Yeah. I mean, so I got to be careful. I mean, this is a woman that I'm married to a Latina woman. I don't want her slitting my throat in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Well,
But no,
best of luck.
to be
Best of
a
luck.
yeah. I mean, the Aggies, they're going to come out pissed. But Notre Dame, they've been firing some pretty good shots. I mean, yeah, they put up a 70 burger against who was it, Syracuse, and then
Really?
Stanford, they beat them pretty convincingly. But
Really?
what?
Really? You really about to be on this show and you're trying to pump up your pom poms over Syracuse and Stanford? What are we talking about?
I was putting up my pom poms. I'm just saying that I mean, they took business.
They took care of business,
seriously.
but yeah,
Hey,
they basically took care of JV, man.
what
Let's stop.
Hey, I gotta ask a question though, real quick. What happened to Stanford? They used to be like a legitimate team in the Pac-12.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't have an answer for that.
And they have been dog shit the past like 5 years.
Well,
It's
Yeah.
I think number one is Oregon decided to pump up, their money, and they've taken out, the majority of the talent, from that area. That
Okay,
would
so
be one.
here's the question: how is it that Oregon is actually generating more money than freaking Stanford? That's what mystifies me.
Nike.
Nike.
Yeah. And
Nike.
the willingness to invest, right?
Yeah.
Who's to say that Stanford is, they're academic school first. So,
Yeah, and that's what I
if
was gonna say. They don't care about
yeah,
they're not rabid about that football as, say, Arkansas fans are or Ole Miss fans are because that's all they got. But
right.
Yeah.
Stanford, nah, they don't really care
They've got
so much
water
for them.
polo. They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or what is it? What do you call that when you're in a boat and you're rowing and shit?
Roop,
Um, I
What is
don't
it
know.
routine?
called? Rowing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
they're like always winning championships in that, so that's what they primarily care about. But
To your point though, Woo Pig, that game was amazing. I mean, who would have guessed? Honestly, I didn't think that it was going to happen. I went with my gut, but
That's what I did. I just
God
had a
bless
feeling.
America. They actually had a hell of a game, and Arch Manning, he started off really bad, but man, he picked it up in the last half. My goodness, he
All,
played one hell of a game.
all they had to do was kick puppies against Arkansas, and they could put them on the right path. So
Well, and not only that, but Texas defense, they showed.
yeah, yeah. Well, they were great. They were great early in the season. I thought Texas had one of the top 5 defenses in the country. And then it was like middle of the year, all of a sudden they started letting people score on them and stuff. We talked about it on the pod,
They're
like
talented though.
maybe they were just depressed on how bad their offense was.
Well,
You know,
or maybe that, but do you think that they actually took a step back because of their early Ohio State loss, their
I
game
don't
one?
know.
I mean, maybe they just got a little bit shook, because of that
Maybe
loss.
Maybe they were on the field too much.
Yeah, it
That's
could
what
be
I
too.
think. Their offense was so god awful
Yeah.
that he kept turning the ball over, 3 and outs, and the defense was on the freaking field all the time.
And to be honest, I think the biggest difference in the game, and at least that we haven't seen all year from Texas, their run game showed up. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot old boy's name, but man, he was running out there like gangbusters, and I think that helped ease Arch Manning into the game,
Very, very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be, but
so
I
does
will
that
say
change your
this,
perspective on Arch Manning?
yeah, but we actually saw a very visceral demonstration of what it's like to be in the middle of these Texas matchups. I mean, especially this one. Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. It was such a good game.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's fun, man, but that's what we were talking about. Like
Yeah, that's a
rivalry
good
games
weekend.
that week, you can't like, just expect to win just because you're ranked higher. So,
Yep. Good
Well,
weekend
and
for
and
Boston.
and A&M kinda has that little brother syndrome for Texas to
mhm,
begin with, so
mhm.
it just is what it is. So, they've released the new college football rankings. You've got 3 teams that are kind of on the bubble looking in. You got Miami, Vanderbilt, and Texas, though. Those 3 teams are on the
Mm.
outside trying to get in.
Where's Miami stacked? Just for the audience.
So Miami is ranked 12, Texas is 13, and Vanderbilt's 14. So they're the
Wow.
3 teams. And then honestly, you have BYU too, but BYU is about to play Texas Tech
Oh,
If
in
they
the
win,
in,
all hell's gonna
in the
break
in the
loose.
Big 12. So either BYU wins and they jump up into the playoffs, or they lose, which I think they're going to Texas Tech, and they're not even gonna be a conversation. So, really, it's Miami, Texas, and Vanderbilt who are watching this week of championship and hoping that something happens to where, maybe if Alabama loses, Alabama's at number 9. They're gonna be playing Georgia. So if
Dude, that
Al
would be ridiculous if they made knocked out for playing in the SEC championship game and
Right.
losing to a top 16. Like, that would be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
you're right, but that's how it works. And I
That's stupid
agree.
as hell.
I
It
agree.
is.
I think that the final ranking should be this week,
I agree.
right?
Like,
And that
but
that
it
that
just puts no emphasis on the championship games though, so they will it's never gonna happen.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the fact of the matter is Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, they're not playing in the championship. They're secure in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Alabama is going to be in the SEC championship, and if
Championship.
they lose that game, they get kicked out.
done.
And
But
Texas
dude,
gets put in.
all those other teams you said besides like Alabama, like those bubble teams, you said they all again, like you said, they all sit at home watching and hoping. At least
Yeah.
BYU gets to play for their lives. If they win, they're definitely in, and then it makes the rankings all kind of weird.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
they'll
don't
kick
have it.
somebody out.
I
Yeah.
don't have it up right now, but has BYU beaten who?
Nobody. They
Nobody.
just that their best opponent that they're going to play is Texas Tech this week. That's
Which
it.
they already lost to.
Oh,
They're one loss. So the reason that they're that far up there is they're 11-1 and they're in the Big 12.
Yeah.
But they literally
Notre
play.
Dame hasn't beaten anybody either.
Ooh.
Seriously, I don't know.
and they don't have a conference.
So
Yeah.
they may. If
The-
I'm Joey, you better hope Texas Tech beats them.
Yeah, so Notre
Or sorry,
Dame.
angry Joey.
Speaking of Notre Dame, you guys are ranked at number 10. So
Mhm.
you are the cutoff team. Like no more sneak-ins. If anybody else sneaks in above you, you could potentially drop to 11 and then you're
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah, I recognize.
so from Joey, from your standpoint, you want it to be status quo. You want everybody to win. You want Bama to win. You want you want Texas Tech to win. You want I guess you don't care about Ohio State and Indiana. They're 1 and 2, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely do not want. You definitely do not. The worst case scenario for you is if BYU won. Because there's a scenario where Texas Tech drops to like 8, and then BYU, because they're the Big 12 champion, gets an automatic bid, and that means that the number 10 team doesn't get in. So, yeah, the worst. So I would suggest you pay attention to that BYU Texas Tech game.
Oh, I
Yeah.
totally get it.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest regret that Notre Dame probably has right now is dropping that one to Miami in week, what was it, 3?
Well, I think it was week 1, wasn't it? Week 3.
Week 1 or 2, somewhere around in there, 1 or 2, 3. But losing that game, that was pivotal. And it's really showing itself right now.
Yeah,
Well,
you. I mean, give it up to Notre Dame. They lost their first 2 games, right, to Miami and Texas, but then you had 10 straight wins. So, and some of those are like USC and Pitt. So you did beat a couple of really good teams in there.
Well, okay, so you're talking about Syracuse and those kind of teams. 70 points. Well, you're supposed to do that. I mean, USC, who are they?
Yeah. But until last week, Ohio State was the same way. They're really good at beating up on cupcakes. And then my point last week was the only good team they beat were Texas.
Mhm.
And they beat them by 7 points.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you win the games that you're supposed to win, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so Notre Dame, they shit the bed against Miami. I think that was probably the biggest problem that they have getting into the playoffs right now. If they wouldn't have lost that game, then I mean, it would have been different dialogue altogether.
So there is one caveat that the committee themselves have to weigh when the final rankings come out, and I think this is kind of important because this impacts Texas a lot. Because if, let's just say, like if Alabama loses, they're the only one that's vulnerable that could actually cause a shakeup, right? If Alabama loses, does then, and I think that by what this conversation's already said, a lot of people don't have this opinion, but I'm just going to speak for it for myself. Number one, Texas should get consideration because of out of conference schedule, and if they are knocked out, if they are not placed into the playoff at all, regardless of what happens, especially given the fact that what just happened with Ole Miss, and potentially of Alabama losing, if that doesn't open the door for Texas to actually get into the playoff, that's going to discourage them and others to actually face like top tier teams in their out of conference schedule. And I think that is something that the NCAA does. I don't think they should want, because a lot of the, right now everybody hypes up, the in-conference stuff with the SEC and stuff like that, and they really, they're really addicted to that. But you don't want to discourage those teams to actually play other tough teams in other conferences earlier in the season. But if Texas is not in, and again with the chaos that we're already seeing, then they're really going to go to their athletic directors, and I think Sarkisian has already said it. Like, if that happens, they're going to start, talking to their ADs, and it's going to start. I think Ohio State is supposed to play in Texas next year. They might go and cancel that game. They might cancel it because it's like, what good does it do me if all you're going to do is just punish me for actually having the courage to play tougher teams out of conference?
Yeah,
So,
strength
like
of
the rest of the SEC,
so here's the only thing. So Texas, right? They do have an insane strength of schedule, right? They played number 1 Ohio State, number 3 Texas A&M, number 4 Georgia, and they went 3-2 versus top 10 teams, right? So they had a really good strength of schedule. The problem is they lost to a 3-9 or like a 2 or 3-9 Florida. Like that's the reason they are where they are. They're the highest ranked number or 3 loss team in the country. Like,
but
there's nobody higher than them with 3 losses.
But wait a minute. How is it that
that's a little bit mystifying? I mean, okay, so you're actually talking about a team like them, and then Vanderbilt, they're actually on the outside looking in?
They are. They
Yeah.
are.
Isn't that a little bit weird? I don't get it.
Yeah. So that's the thing, like Vanderbilt and Miami. Okay, Miami has 5 ranked wins. They beat Notre Dame week 1, so they played a big out of conference game week 1, just like Texas did, and they only have 2 losses, right? And then, and neither one of them are an embarrassing loss to Florida, right? They beat the dog crap out of Florida, when they played them. So, there's that. And then Vanderbilt only lost to Texas and Alabama, and they've only got 2 losses, and their strength of schedule is just as strong as Texas is. So the problem with Texas right now is there's like 3 teams right now on the outside looking in that potentially have a great argument for getting in that they're not going to get in.
So let me ask you, Will Pig, let me ask you this. Do you think that Texas is more deserving of a playoff bid over Notre Dame?
Let me look at your schedule again. Yes, I probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would. I mean, just because there's not as much substance to your wins. You know what I mean? You don't have as many like legitimate, like big time. I can hang my hat on those wins, but you only have 2 losses, and those 2 losses were at the very beginning of the season, and then you had 10 straight wins. So there's an argument for Notre Dame as well.
So
it's hard for me to argue for a 3-loss team to get into the playoffs when you have so many 2-loss teams that have just as good an argument to get in.
But like you said, nobody has a stronger overall resume as far as opponents' strength of schedule, like you said, than Texas. And the bad loss that they have is from another SEC opponent. So shouldn't that also get into consideration too?
Sure. Look, I'm not going to be upset if Texas gets in. I'm all for some SEC schools getting in. I just think that, me personally, if one of those 3 teams were to get in, the team I would pick would be Vanderbilt. Only 2 losses. 2 of them those 2 losses are to quality teams, and they have had a remarkable season.
Okay, so let me ask you this, side question. Vanderbilt or Notre Dame? They're both 2 losses teams.
I would pick Vandy all day.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Now I'm not mad at Notre Dame getting in because that Notre Dame versus A&M would be a fantastic game to watch just from a pure fan standpoint. And honestly, I know people hate it, but narrative matters. and the college football committee they're gonna look at narrative. There's no way in heck if they can keep Notre Dame in the playoffs that they won't do it because they bring eyeballs and they bring the narrative. It's an independent coming in. I mean, do you want 4 SEC schools in Notre Dame or do you want 5 SEC schools? You're going to want 4 in Notre Dame. You know, it's just I highly doubt that Notre Dame is going to fall out of the playoffs.
I don't disagree. That's a very fair point.
Well, here's a compromise here, and it's kind of the elephant in the room. It's probably going to lead to Mr. Raider here, but given the news of what has transpired this week, there has to be a strong consideration that Ole Miss gets kicked out completely.
Oh no!
There we go. Here
No,
we go.
you moved up.
No, they moved up.
This is our next.
Those kids already got kicked in the nuts, and they have the record they have.
Hey,
don't take that playoff away from them.
Whoa! They didn't have that consideration before the state. I'm talking about the committee. Now, this is the bed that they made. Okay. Now, look, I'm not sure. I wouldn't advocate for this, but I'm saying knowing how money driven that this committee has shown themselves to be, and they make the argument of putting the best matchups as they possibly can. You can't sit here and justify that Ole Miss, who has just lost their coach and their offensive coordinator, is still the same team that's going to be in that playoff come a month from now.
Just because their head coach has whore tendencies does not mean you can take that away from them. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, not everybody, and I talked about this before last year with other teams, not everybody can handle their coach being taken away and still being able to perform. Not everybody can do that. And especially in the playoff scenario here. So this might have opened up the door, especially like if Alabama loses, that might open up the door for the committee to really stir some stuff up.
Well, speaking of that, that's a good transition. We had some notable coaching hires this year. Michigan State, they hired Pat Fitzgerald, good hire. Florida, they hired John Summerall from Tulane. He was a yeah, you're not too wrong about that. Auburn, they were able to hire Alex Golish from USF. Arkansas, we raided the Dollar General bargain bin and got Ryan Silverfield from Memphis. I'm not too happy about that one. Kind of pissed off, actually.
Don't knock it, Blue Pig.
Yeah, why? Why?
He's not a bad coach, man.
Sure. Our current coach or our ex-coach, he got fired because we were really good on offense and terrible on defense. And Ryan Silverfield is known for his offense and lack of defense. So we just replaced one coach with the exact same coach. So wonderful. Loving that. And we're gonna lose Bobby Petrino, who's a fantastic offensive coordinator. So love it. Just love it. If you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. I think it's a terrible hire. They're calling for our AD, but that's on another topic. I'm sure most of our audience doesn't really care about that. I'm just saying, I'm as Woo Pig, as the main hog on this channel, I am not happy with my hogs right now. We have had a terrible season, and we just did a shit job of hiring a new head coach. But the big news is that LSU hired Lane Kiffin out from under Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin left in the middle of the night, pissed all over everyone, gave them all the double bird and left.
God.
So
not you two.
Transitions to Mr. Raiders argument on.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try not to offend anybody or hurt anybody's feelings, but y'all acting like a bunch of hoes when it comes to Lane Kiffin leaving. I mean, let's think about it. Not you guys, but I'm talking like the overall narrative in the media. And look at the articles that was leading up to the weekend. There were so many negative articles about Lane Kiffin and all this shit and everything. I'm thinking like, all right, look, man, he did one team dirty, which was Tennessee, and he admitted that, and he said he hate that, and he would never do it again. USC did him dirty by leaving his ass on the tarmac. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes and he builds himself. He humbles himself, goes to Alabama as offensive coordinator, rehabilitates himself, goes to Florida Atlantic. Nobody saw that coming. And then from there, goes to another place and gets them, turns around, and he won championship with everywhere he went besides Ole Miss. And people don't remember when he got to Ole Miss, they were trash.
They
Okay,
were. You are
they haven't
right
been
there.
relevant since the '60s. So you know how hard it was to build that program, and he stayed there for 6 years. And in today's college football, 6 years is a long time for a head coach because they're all getting pilfered. Now, Lane Kiffin can't help that these jobs opened up and that these other coaches got fired, right? He was already there for 6 years. And the fact that these Ole Miss fans are going to show up to his plane when he's there with his wife and children and flick them off and then try to run them off the road is totally uncalled for. It's just fucking sports at the end of the day. It's like if you decide to take a better job opportunity and the people you work with are pissed at you for doing it, they're going to try to do something to you, hurt you and your family, or say some shit about you before you leave. Even Paul Feinbaum couldn't help himself because every time he got on TV, he was talking shit about Lane. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, stop. It's been 6 years. Ole Miss should be like, look, man, we appreciate you. Well, we haven't had a national championship since like 1960, what, 3, 2? Something like that.
1963.
Before Kennedy. I would have said, we gonna get it. I want you to win a championship for us. So I would have worked that out. All they did, and I understand that they didn't want him to be a walking billboard for LSU. But once he leaves, nobody's going to fucking Ole Miss. Nobody. So you might as well keep him in place there. Let these kids go compete for a championship. Swallow your fucking pride, Ole Miss. Get that chip, which is way more important, and then let him go on his way. Like Lane Kiffin tried to do it the right way. Did he want to leave somewhere else? Yes. He's in Oxnard, Mississippi. Go from Oxnard, Mississippi to LSU. You cannot tell me, which is one of the premier places in all of college football, that that's not a better opportunity. Who on God's green earth would turn down a better opportunity? That's like if one of you guys.
Not
Hold
disagreeing
on.
with
Give
you
me
at
3
all.
more minutes. That's like if one of you guys, like your employer comes to you, is like, you know what, we want you to be CEO now, and you're supposed to just turn it down. Then get out of here. So I think. Go ahead.
Finish your point,
not
Mr.
disagreeing with you at all, dude. But I'm just
That was
kinda
awesome, Mr. Rager.
and I'm gonna throw this little grenade out there.
I'm not.
How is
I still got
Lane
more to say,
Kiffin,
but
how is Lane Kiffin leaving to LSU any different than what Brian Kelly did? Let me ask you that. I already know the answer, and I have my own opinions, but I just want to
I
hear
can
your
tell
take.
you why, Drew. No, see, this is the narrative that's fucking wrong. It's because of the goddamn schedule. Excuse me. It's because of the schedule. Lane Kiffin wanted to stay there. Like I agree with Nick Saban. Nick Saban said this isn't a Lane Kiffin issue. This is a college football issue. Just like the NFL, you should only be able to do this stuff during the offseason, and you have a certain amount of time to win the playoffs when you can actually talk to a coach, stuff like that. That would eliminate this problem. Lane Kiffin tried all the way up until the late hours of the night to be like, look, let me coach them. If not, he's going to allow Charlie Weiss to stay there as offensive coordinator to go do it. It was despite the reports that were saying, well, he told all the assistant coaches, you're either leaving with me tonight or you're not coming at all. That never fucking happened. And so it's like he did what he could to help Ole Miss. So to answer your question, it's vastly different. Brian Kelly just fucking quit on his squad. He didn't want to try to coach through. He didn't even say he wanted to. He just fucking left for LSU.
There it is. Thank you. I just wanted to hear it.
That's a hell of a take, man. That's a hell of a take.
And I got one last thing to say, and then I'm done. Look. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with Lane Kiffin. I'm gonna be honest. I got a love-hate relationship with him. But I love him because what he did for USC when we got hit by that death knell, when we lost all those scholarships, and he did have some success there. Like you guys, Kyle, Whoopig, I know you know how difficult it is for a program to come back once they get something like that. And he was able to have a modicum of success with a hell of a lot less scholarships. This dude has won everywhere he's been at, and he made a couple bad decisions along the way. Sure, but he spent 6 years at Ole Miss, bro. Like, what else do they want from him? Give him his freaking flowers. Let him coach his players in the championship game. Get that chip because you have a legitimate chance, and then move on. That's the right way to do it. And that's it. That's all I got to say.
I guess the only thing that I actually have against it is the fact that you and you hit on it perfectly, Raider. You know what is that he left them in the middle of the season, and I just don't think that's cool. You know, that's just me.
Lane Kiffin didn't do that.
At the same time, I don't disagree with you. I think he needed to tell
I
him.
think what rubs people wrong is that, like, Ole Miss, this is their best season in I don't know how long, as long as I've been alive.
Almost 50 years, I would say.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
and
What is
this is
his
the
record over the
what?
6 years of Ole Miss? Ole Miss has lost an average of 2 games a year since Kiffin's been there. Am I right?
No, he's done a great job. No,
Uh,
that's what I'm trying to say is that he's built a program from the ground up, and this is the culmination of that. They're in the playoffs with the chance to win the national championship, and right as he gets to that peak, he just jumps ship. I think that's where a lot of people are rubbed wrong, and I think you're right that a lot of it has to do with the way recruiting and the way that hiring and firing goes. As soon as, like, a bad team gets through with their season, they start looking for a new head coach. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I think both Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin could have handled this a whole lot better. It's an ugly breakup, and usually in ugly breakups, it's not one side that did everything wrong, it's usually both. So,
right.
Isn't it ironic though that he actually, pulled chalks, to go from Ole Miss to LSU too?
well, LSU, we've talked about this before. LSU is one of those unique places. They have their own recruiting surplus right there in that state of Louisiana.
A
That
massive budget.
if you can build a wall around Louisiana, you've got a built-in recruiting base that's hard to beat. And Ole Miss, not only are they sharing Mississippi with another big-time school, but it's a small state that doesn't have a lot of talent coming out of it. So, yeah, there's just built. I don't blame him for going to LSU. It's just the way it happened. It's just another ugly breakup. And the problem with Lane Kiffin is this is like his fourth ugly breakup. So, at some point, is it me or is it them? Well, if it keeps happening over and over and over, at some point you got to be like, maybe it's you.
Right.
Well, I would take issue with that only with 2 things. 1, the reason why it's an ugly breakup, but it's one-sided. It's not only Kiffin's side. And the reason why they think it's ugly is because he had success. So, success is I think he said it best at his press conference that they wouldn't be booing him or trying to run him off the road if he sucked. So I get it, but at the same time, when he said jump ship, like this is a college football issue. Saban said it best. Coaches are getting fired in this time. You have the playoff coming up. It's the way it is. It's not Lane Kiffin. He tried to make this breakup amicable from everything that I've seen from his press conference, what he was saying. So he could have, again, done what Brian Kelly did, left the fucking season and try not to do nothing. He didn't do that. So that's the only thing I'm saying.
Agree.
Yeah.
So the way that Brian Kelly actually did it was completely fucked up. He
Yeah.
he left Notre Dame in the middle of the fucking playoffs. And, I agree with you though, Whoopig, that just the timing, you're late in the season and then you jump ship for another team. I don't know.
That's college football. That sucks.
It is.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now this is I got to get this out because I've heard your side of it, Mr. Rader, and for the most part, 85% of it I agree with.
Okay.
Aggie Joey, I'm pretty much on the same path with you. But here's the one thing that I have not heard anybody say, and please correct me if I'm wrong if this came out and I just never heard it. The only thing about this situation to me that Lane Kiffin definitely had the power to do is just hold off your decision until after the Mississippi State or after Ole Miss season is over. And the only reason why I say that, hold on,
He couldn't
if
because the
he
AD
knows,
forced him. The
so
AD forced him. The
so,
AD gave him a
so,
timeline.
so that was going to be my question. Unless when the news report came out about the decision was going to be made about the Egg Bowl, was that a decision from Lane Kiffin or was that a decision from Ole
No,
Miss? Now, if that was a
was
decision
the
from Ole
AD.
Miss, then that's okay. So
That was the
if that's
AD.
the case, okay. If that's the case, that's fine. That totally negates what I was going to say because it was like, if you're going to go to LSU, LSU is not going to. They're not going to turn their offer away to go to somebody else. You are the belle of the ball, so you have everything on your court. So why don't you just stay in place, wait till the season is officially over for Ole Miss, and then you just leave. If you do that, there's no issue. Now, Ole Miss side of the
Recruiting.
house saying right now, Ole Miss side of the house saying they don't want they don't want Lane Kiffin to pull away from Ole Miss. It's like, dude, it's gonna happen regardless. Now, I guarantee you, if I forgot old boy's name, the quarterback, if he decides not to play in the bowl game, you already know why.
Chamberlain.
Yeah, yeah, Trinidad Chambliss, I think his name is. But if he decides to sit out, then you already know why. So
Yeah, that's a good take, man. I hear you, bro. But like, Lane Kiffin went and told the AD that he got an offer. Yeah, matter of fact, he told him that came down to Florida and Ole Miss, and he told him that. Matter of fact, I go back earlier than that. He said he had 4, and they talked and they were trying to work things out. So he told the AD that he was going to take or consider taking the LSU job. And the AD was like, "All right, look here." Or I'm sorry, it's between LSU and Florida. And the AD said, "I need to know by Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was, and put a timeline on him." And so he had to make a decision. And if you're talking about, you got recruit signing day, what, January 2nd? Or is it next Wednesday?
it's actually, I think it's this week. Actually, it's
Yeah, I
all
think
types of messed up. That
I
that,
think
that
it's
part
next
is
Wednesday.
effed up. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to get him in place to be able to recruit these kids for signing day, which is another reason why that shit should be pushed off towards the off season.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
So, I hate how now Lane Kiffin, yeah, does he deserve about 10% of the blame? Sure. Absolutely. He could have stayed there and done something special and build it up at Ole Miss and put his program on the map. Saban did it at Alabama, right?
Mhm.
Alabama was trash before Saban got there.
Pretending he did it with
So,
LSU first.
true, very true. Michigan State too, right? I mean,
To some degree, yeah.
so he had opportunity. So I agree with you, Angry Joey, and I agree with you, Woo Pig, on that, and you too, Hater. But same time, the rest of this blame is on college football, the NCAA
Oh,
itself,
100%. Yes, I agree with
and the
that.
fans, and
Yeah.
the reporters, and the fans of Ole Miss needs to check themselves and realize it's just sports at the end of the day, and be grateful that you had a good coach for 6 years. You could be like USC right now. We're all kinds of fucked up,
Hey, but you
you
already
know.
had your own controversy with stinking Lincoln. Yeah, y'all
Yeah.
was the
So
y'all was the bell of ball on that too.
And y'all, they've had stability for the last 6 years. Like, look at Arkansas. Arkansas has had some problems for the last few years. You mean to tell me they wouldn't have mind to have Lane Kiffin there at least for 6 years to keep them stable, keep them competing? Come on, man.
I don't
Well,
know. No, honestly, I don't want to Lane Kiffin. I'm sorry. I know you've
Even if he
been
can take you to a chip, you don't want him. Come
why?
on. Now
Because in
you're lying.
LSU or in Alabama, somebody would pick him up right before we went to the fucking
After
playoffs.
6
Like,
years.
that's what hey, all I'm saying is the man's got whore tendencies, okay? He sees somebody with a shinier watch and a better 401k, and he instantly jumps over to there.
That's okay.
hey, you talking
Hey,
about side
it
piece.
is what it
Look, look,
is. It
Lane
is
Kiffin
what
is the
it
king of
is.
side piece.
Yeah, yeah. Tennessee, USC,
Holy shit! You actually
Alabama,
just said it there,
Ole
didn't you?
Miss, it's over and over and over and over.
Well, he wasn't
He
the
got
head
an
coach at
MO,
Alabama.
all right? He keeps his eye on the horizon to see what's next. That's all I'm
Now,
saying.
now,
What's wrong with
now,
that?
now, wait,
Hey,
hold on, Mr. Raider. Now, the one thing we have to talk about here, and that's the other caveat I think that to the story that I don't know if we have definitive knowledge on, but we know what Lane Kiffin's supposed contract is. Do we know if Ole Miss was willing to even match what he's going to get at LSU?
I think yes, but I think on that they don't have as much resources as LSU does for recruits for the money.
Mm,
Get recruits.
okay. Well, all I know is, oh, and by the way, another caveat too. Lane Kiffin hasn't won a championship outside being a part of Nick Saban's staff.
Nope, that's not true. I mean, you're talking about a national championship, yes,
Yeah.
but he's
he
won.
wasn't part of that staff. He got fired before the national championship.
He was there for 2 years, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Two,
yeah,
3 years.
but before the national championship, Saban fired him and kicked him off the team.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
Mm,
But
mm.
he won at Florida Atlantic, I think it was. He won the championship there.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Fine. That's sure, sure. He's a championship head coach, but when you're going to LSU though, we know what the standard is.
Yeah, you better win.
Being SEC champ is not good enough.
Yep.
Ask, at Ed Orgeron, ask Les Miles, ask Nick Saban. Just saying. So LSU, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
How about, gentlemen? Do we have some NFL talk to get through?
Woo! We do. Well, we can talk about it.
Before we do that though, but Tony Takes, I want to hear from you, man. What do you think about all this?
Dude, I don't know as much as you guys do. The only thing I knew was the guy left, And I mean, Ole Miss is about to go into the damn playoff, and this could affect that, right? So that's not good. They're probably still going to get in, but then they don't have a coach. Like, what the fuck? And I get it from you guys talking about it's probably both sides. Maybe I don't know all the intricacies you guys know, but which is why you said the media, because that's all we see, Mister Ray. You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, what the hell's going on? It's just weird. I don't know. I guess it happens in college football sometimes, but so for like a fan of pro sports, it's just it doesn't happen. Yes, guys get fired, but not. That's like a team going to the AFC Championship game and leaving, and the coach leaving. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good takes.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else on college football, then I agree with Angry Joker. Let's transition to NFL.
All right. So week 13 is in the books, and Thanksgiving games was the major. Well, 2 of the 3 games that we had, and yeah, we'll start with I'll just run them down. So number 9 Packers and the number 7 Detroit Lions. Packers won 31-24. Number 18 Texans went to the Indianapolis Colts, who were number 4 on the week. They won 20-16. And in a Friday night Black Friday thriller, the Philadelphia Eagles, who were number 2 in the week, got ran over, to be honest, by the number 15 Chicago Bears, 24-15. And now the Bears are leading the NFC North at 9-3. The Packers are right behind them, and the Lions are 3rd in the division. The Colts are reeling, and the Eagles, I mean, A.J. Brown got his numbers, but they're still losing. So, yeah, so I'm just going to leave it as a roundtable discussion with everybody here. There were some remarkable upsets on the week as well, including the Cincinnati Bengals that might be looking to take the division from the Baltimore Ravens if they're not careful. But I know, Angry Joy, I know you had a lot to say on this, so I'll start with you first.
Bro, okay, so I know we kind of keyed up on this the last week. We were talking about contenders and pretenders. Is anybody willing to actually change their stats on, what they think is a contender versus a pretender? I mean, let's start off with the Packers versus the Lions. What in the blue fuck is actually happening to your Lions there?
Injury.
I mean, dude, losing to the I sorry to say, but them actually losing to the Packers twice. I mean, dude, what? I mean,
Okay.
31-24. What?
All right. Okay. See, I was trying to be cool, but that you then brought this back out of me, so it's your fault.
All right. Go ahead.
Number 1, 2 of our losses that we've had recently, I blame completely on Dan Campbell. This bravado that we have going forward on 4th down, everybody knows that we like to do that. That doesn't mean that you have to do it all the time. And yet again, this cost us the game against the Eagles. I am willing to say, even though there was some referee shenanigans in this game as well, still, all we had to do was keep our heads straight and take the points when they were available to us, and we would not have been in that predicament. And it cost us another game, this time against the Packers. So now the division is lost. So now we're looking at being a wild card team if we can do that. And unfortunately, this week we get to play the Cowboys, who are also in the same predicament as us. We built this grave, and now we have to dig ourselves out of it, including the fact that we have injuries all over the place. We just lost Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Terrion Arnold, our number 1 corner, he's out for the season. I don't know if Kirby Joseph is going to come back. We just got injuries everywhere, but we still are being, Mr. Macho and stuff like that, going for it on 4th down. Understand the situation. I keep saying this about coaches. You're responsible for performance, situation, and personnel. All the time. You have to keep that in focus. If we're losing people all over the place, and we know we're in a tight game, and we know our defense can't keep up with the Packers, if we're in plus territory, kick the field goal. It's okay. It's not a sign of weakness, damn it. Just start playing smart. And we have to now, because we got the Cowboys, and we've got the Steelers, and I think we play the Rams after that. So if we don't get our shit together, and between this next game, it's over for us.
Well, okay, so I can appreciate Dan Campbell's methodology of playing aggressive football, and always going for it and stuff like that. I really do appreciate it, but to your point, I kind of agree with you. I mean, at some point, you need to be a little bit practical too. And taking a field goal is not a sign of weakness. Stretching the field and actually playing some controlled football is part of the game too, don't you think?
Yeah, and just as another side note to our defensive coordinator, you don't have to play man all the time. Again, if your secondary is depleted, the worst thing you can do is to consistently play cover one or playing man defense all day, where the Packers get to run the same goal line offense against your same look that you decide to put out there, and there were communication problems in the first one and decided to do it again. One, call a timeout. Two, you might want to mix some things up and maybe play some zone sometimes. It's okay.
Especially
Okay.
all those injuries in the secondary, you would think they would try different things, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Lions, they are just an enigma to me. Well, that whole division is an enigma, is a complete question mark to me. How in the hell did we all get it so wrong to think that the Bears were actually going to be top of the NFC? Not just their division, but the NFC. Here
Well,
they are. They've been kicking some ass.
well,
and it's for
yes.
one reason and one reason only. The offensive line's run blocking is absolutely incredible. Like these guys are running 7 yards before they're even touched. It's really crazy. And I know, they revamped literally the entire line, but to see them gel like that is usually not, or it doesn't usually happen. It looks good on paper, but those guys are playing crazy. And Dan Campbell's basically just repeating what he did in Detroit with Gibbs and Montgomery.
Yeah.
But
Ben
at the
Johnson.
same time,
Ben Johnson, sorry, Ben
actually
Johnson.
go against the Eagles and beat them 24-15.
Yep.
Did any of you guys see that one happening?
Nope. I
What
thought
you
they was
talking
going to get
about?
their ass whooped, but
What game you
nope.
talking about?
The Bears and Eagles.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the Bears and Eagles. I mean,
No,
where
hell
the fuck
no.
did this team come from? My God.
But dude, I still don't believe in them. Their defense isn't good. All they can do is run the ball, but they can run it really, really well. So they're kind of built for the playoffs, especially being up there in Chicago. Nobody wants to go to Chicago to play a fucking game in January. But
No.
but I want to see them against like Seattle and the Rams. Seahawks and the Rams are both bottom 5 matchups for running backs in the running game. So that would be a good test.
Agree,
Well,
but then the Rams, they're another enigma. I mean, we would talk about upsets. The Panthers
I
actually,
forgot about that one. Yeah, you're right.
the Panthers actually beat the Rams
Yeah.
31-20. What the fuck is that? They are probably the most mystifying team in the NFL right now.
I don't think so. They're just
yeah.
good. They had a slip up. The Carolina Panthers are playing really well lately.
Their defense,
And 3 turnovers will do that. 3 turnovers in bad situations will do that. Like it's the NFL, and it's not like the Panthers are bad. I don't know if you watched them this year, but they're not bad.
their defense has been improving, and I'm with you, Tony. Like the Rams, you can have a hiccup. I just chalk this up as a hiccup.
Exactly.
You throw away the tape, you keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like they have enough equity in this season to where they can let one go like that, and it's fine. And it's not like their offense got shut out. They put up 28 points. You know what I mean? So it was just a turnover. So that's just an outside thing. Now, as far as the Bears go, it's a part of the schedule where we'll see who they really are, because they start with the Packers, and then they play the Rams after that. I think they play the Rams after that, and then they play the Packers again like a couple of weeks after that. So we're really going to see who they really are.
Yes, we will.
Oh,
Okay, so
how
how about this one? And here's another enigma. What about the Chiefs and the Cowboys?
Dude, I think the Cowboys are one of the best teams in the NFC right now. And what you want to do doesn't matter what you did early in the season. If you, like we saw this with the Giants on their 2 Super Bowl runs, it matters when you get good at the right time. You know what I mean? And their offense is awesome, and their defense is getting a lot better. Adding a guy like Quentin Williams will fucking do that. But they're looking better. Yes, they're still giving up yards, but that offense is good enough where it doesn't really matter. So if their defense just play average, they're going to be tough to beat.
Very true. But I also think that the Chiefs are one pubic hair away from being eliminated from the playoffs.
They are,
Oh,
but
they're
they're
finished.
also one pubic hair away from being the best team in the AFC and winning the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like the AFC sucks, dude. If they get in, I don't know. Every game's going to be a toss up. The Patriots, yeah, they look good, but I don't believe in them quite yet. I do believe in
They're too
Drake
young.
May, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're not tested. And
Right.
yes, going to New England would be tough in January, but the Chiefs are so battle tested and been there so much, they would go into that game not giving a shit about anything.
But here's the one thing about the Chiefs that I think that's going to be different for them. The Cowboy game was the first time ever where Mahomes actually put on the Superman cape and lost the game. Like,
Yeah.
he played flawless ball, but it wasn't enough. And I think that, to me, that's the tipping point, and I feel like they're about to get put up out of here. We won't see them in the playoffs. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what their schedule is.
I kind of agree with you. Well, okay, so I do know that that they actually have the Broncos at least one game more.
Well, they play Houston. That's huge because that's a big game this week.
And that's another team that is just mystifying, because they actually beat the Colts, who is supposed to be, unbelievable. But we already
Another
know
team we can talk about.
Yeah, the Texans, they actually have a stellar defense. I mean, their defense is awesome.
Yeah,
they are very, very fucking impressive. I mean, they held everybody down. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, they pretty much nullified him. Michael Pittman, he was a non-factor whatsoever. I just kind of go down the list here, and I'm just kind of thinking how many freaking upsets there were this week. I mean, the Packers versus the Lions, the Chiefs versus the Cowboys, the Bengals actually give the Ravens the business. The Bears, they actually embarrassed the Eagles. The Rams, they lose to the Panthers.
On the road.
The Niners, how about that? Well, I mean, that they should have beat the Browns, but
yeah, come on, man.
And then the Texans, they actually beat the Colts. How about that? And here was another one, and I'm gonna keep it straight here. The Broncos, they had no business winning that game against the Commanders.
You're talking about the way the game went, but they definitely should have won the game.
They should have won the game, but the way it was actually won, the Commanders, they actually put one hell of a game plan out. I mean, it was, dude, I can't handle being a Broncos fan right now. Oh my God. I mean, I'm pulling my fucking hair out every single week. I swear to God. It sucks.
Angry Joy, I need to say this. Thank God for your defense, because you've been pumping up Bo Nix all season long on this show. He has shown nothing to instill confidence at all, and we're about to head into playoff season.
Girl. Okay. Okay. Never mind the fact that he actually threw that one that touchdown to Cortland Sutton, and and then managed to actually get him into the. Yeah. That was pretty horrible quarterback play.
Look, man, one play does not cover the fact of how shitty that he's been playing all season. Don't try to put on your mile high glasses on, and you are sitting up here like Bo Nix is the best thing since sliced bread. Absolutely not.
I didn't do that. I mean, okay. So I will say this. Now, how about this? If Daniels was actually playing in that game, would we have lost? Different? You think we would have lost?
Yes,
I think it would have been a different game plan altogether. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, who can speculate? But at the same time, I mean, my Broncos, they pulled it off. I mean, if it wasn't for a last second Nick Bonito, and there's your boy there, Tony, that last tip, if it wasn't for that, they would have lost.
But here's the thing. What's the difference between them and the Eagles? Like the way that your team has been playing and the way that the Eagles have been playing, like, what's the real difference? You both have strong defenses, and you have questionable quarterback play.
I don't know.
And they're both abandoning the run.
Yeah. Like,
at least Denver's got an excuse for abandoning the run. The Eagles don't. They have Saquon freaking Barkley.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So,
but
but they're the one team that is actually a little bit scary, and God help me for saying this, is the Patriots. Gentlemen, I mean, they are balling. The fact that they actually put 33 points up against the Giants defense, that's impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
what?
I'm just saying, I mean, nobody else has been able to do that, but the Pats, they've
Talking
been
about the Giants here, Joey?
The Giants?
yeah, but at the
No,
same
but it's
time,
good.
it's not the Giants offense that people are worried about, it's their defense.
No,
That's
Yeah,
my
but
point.
the Lions put up 30 plus on them. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, the Patriots, they're looking pretty fucking for real.
Okay, okay. Let's pump our brakes when it comes to the Patriots. Yes, their record is pretty pristine right now, but the Will Campbell loss is significant, and it
It
will
is.
bite them
It's
in the butt.
horrendous. Yeah.
It will bite them in the butt. The receiving core needs a lot to be desired. Drake May is doing the best he can, and the defense is pretty good. But they have a lot more room to grow, and it might be too much to ask for them to have a substantial playoff run. Now, on the Giants side of the house, for the love of God, Jackson Dart, please get down.
Oh gosh.
What in the hell?
He's
He
going to
won't
get
last.
himself.
Oh
He's
my
going to
God.
get
No.
himself killed. Yeah, I
Right?
agree.
Giants fans, man, look here. Y'all need to put him in a bubble and just sit him down because he has not learned nothing.
And he just came back from concussion, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
he should be
Yeah.
cautious this game. No.
Dude, man, come on. Like, I don't know. I don't know who can talk to him, but damn, he won't last.
Nope.
He won't make it to a second contract with at this rate.
No,
will
I
say
agree,
this.
but I do want
This
him
was one of
to
the
be safe.
this is one of the wildest freaking weeks of football that I've seen in a long time, and I'm talking both college and pro. I mean,
What did Mr. Rader say? Mr. Rader got anything to say about all these
Oh, yeah.
upsets?
Yeah, it was a good football weekend. I enjoyed them all, but one of those things is that I was just like the Eagles losing. I couldn't believe it. The matter of fact that they did. So, and I'm still not a believer in the Bears. I don't care what anybody says.
So
So,
cool stat though. Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift ran for both over 125 yards and
yeah,
both had a touchdown. That hasn't been done by teammates by teammate running backs since 2014.
don't
that's crazy
remind me,
cool.
Tony, because
Yes.
I had Swift safely on my bench this week.
Dude, I know it
Wah.
sucks. He's gonna have weird weeks, but the way that run blocking is right now, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what their matchups in the fantasy playoffs look like, but this Ben Johnson has said we're just gonna be a running team. Like we don't want Caleb to throw the ball too much. He can't hit open receivers. Like you can design the best play, but it doesn't matter. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
yeah,
and that's the team that they've turned into, man. Now you will see teams starting to adjust, I think, but gosh darn, the line's blocking so well. I'm not sure if it will matter unless you stack the box, and then you got to play action and roll him out. But
Isn't that the funniest thing? Because I mean, this time last year, we were talking about what a joke the Chicago Lions deep or the Chicago offensive line was, right?
yes, but they
Yeah.
added all those guys. Like they
Yeah.
paid a shit ton
free
of money
agent.
to fix it.
Yep.
Good for them, but it's the entire line's different than last year. The entire line.
I mean,
Yep.
Ben Johnson knew
Except
what
for
he
one guy.
needed to do to fix it. He
Yeah, it
went
was
straight to
awesome.
work,
You love
so.
to see it, man. If you're a
Yeah,
So
Bears
let me
fan, you're
ask
like,
you
man, we need
take
to go offensive line.
notes.
Let
Take
me ask
notes,
you
fucking
this,
Raiders.
yeah, for Hater, how do you see your division shaking out? I mean, and be honest.
I'm always honest, dude. Like, no.
Yeah,
I,
he is.
I hate to admit things, but I do tell the truth. Honestly, I think it's Green Bay's division to win, and here's the reason why. Tony Wood takes you asked what the fantasy playoff schedule for the Chicago Bears as far as the run defense goes. Well, the Browns, the Packers, the 49ers. And then and if you play week 18, it's the Lions. So Caleb Williams is going to have to show growth here in the last month if they want to be where they want to be. But ultimately, I think Green Bay's defense has been they're finally showing themselves, and unfortunately, especially with our remaining schedule for the Lions, and we'd have no help, and it was a small story, but Frank Ragnow was looking to come out of retirement to come back and play, but he didn't pass his physical, so that's not going to help. So we are what we are, and I think that the injuries are going to, we did it last year, won 15 games. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do it this time, and I think we're going to be out the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a
two-horse race, right?
Yeah, I think it's a 2-horse race. I don't think we'll be able to make it in the wild card, so which is fine. We need a higher draft pick so we can get this thing fixed. But anyway, thanks, Angry Joy, for letting me announce the funeral real quick. Thank you.
I wasn't trying to announce anything, man. I just wanted to hear your take, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Well, if that, Mr. Rader, I do have a question. So, are they going to fire the offensive line coach yet? I'm talking about your Raiders, man.
Why are you trying to trigger me with a little bit left over to go, man?
Hurt people.
I'm telling you, man. This is look. I don't care if that's his son or not. If anything, he's doing his son a disservice by keeping him there. He should be like, all right, look, this ain't working out. Let's go ahead and slide you out the back door so you can go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because his son is the offensive line coach for our Raiders. So it's just Pete Carroll's son when I should be more specific on that. But yeah, man, it's awful. Clean house. Clean house.
All right. Well, did anybody else have anything on the Week 13 games?
Well, so I was gonna actually say that hopefully, I can turn you into a Broncos fan on on week 15. When the Broncos actually are playing the Packers.
Oh,
and that's in Denver.
I won't turn into a Broncos fan, but if y'all decide if you decide to, beat the bricks off of Jordan Love and he's somehow not able to play anymore, that's cool.
I just wanted to throw that little nugget out there. Yeah. So right now, my Broncos, they have the Raiders. Oh, this is Raider week. Oh, holy hell. Okay.
Already?
So, Mr. Raider, you and I, we are not friends ever again until next week.
Kind of pretentious, don't you think?
It's kind of like practice, isn't it?
I know. It's like it's not even going to be a game. It doesn't matter to me.
There's a lot of big division games
hope we
this
lose
weekend.
so we can get a higher draft pick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big division games this weekend, but that is not one of them.
No, that is not one of them.
Yeah. Nope. And it sucks for the NFL because that's one of the top rivalries in all of NFL football. One of the handful of top ones. So I'm not. You know what? I'm probably only going to watch maybe a quarter or two. Yeah.
Well, hey, the Commanders played them tough.
Yeah, that's true.
Every team has played the Broncos tough this year. I mean, the last what, 4 or 5 games, outside of, ironically, the Dallas Cowboys, played it down to the wire against the Broncos. So, who the hell knows what they're going to do? And to your point, there, Hater, I don't know what the fuck to expect from Bo Nix right now. I mean, I know that he's a winner. I know that he knows how to actually win those tight games and stuff like that. But I often wonder, at what point are you going to step over your dick? I mean, I can't figure them out, man. I mean, I know that it's agonizing watching every single one of these fucking Bronco games. I mean, it's horrible. Oh my God. I mean, I was in a bad way this last Sunday night, man. I mean, it really was. But hey, man.
I mean, just looking at his stats aren't too bad, right? So
no, they're not bad. I mean, but it's just, man, he's very, very clutch, which is good. You want that. I mean, John Elway was clutch. But you can't compare Nix to Elway.
Yeah.
Hopefully not yet, but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
He doesn't throw picks, but he does make more decisions.
He's got over 3,000 yards passing so far, and he's completion percentage is like 71%, which is pretty elite. So,
yeah,
I mean, at least on paper, he's a lot better than what Hader would like like us to believe, I think.
Fair enough. Anyway, gentlemen, that's all I pretty much have. I just wanted to preface the fact that this last week was arguably the one of the most entertaining weeks of NFL football and college football, for that matter, that I've seen in a long time. It really was.
I would agree.
All right. Well, we want to do it a sleeper stud dud. What are we trying to do? Some upset picks.
I think Hader wanted to go over the week 14 preview, but we can slide into the sleeper stud duds if you want. I got mine loaded to go.
Yeah, we can preview real quick. I got it listed if y'all ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. So, first game is for week 14 is the number 13 Chicago Bears that we talked about quite a bit. They're going to the number 7 Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 6.5-point favorites in this game.
Dang.
So, yeah. So
They must be in Green Bay.
yes,
They are.
they're in Green Bay. Both teams are coming off wins, pretty substantial wins.
Who is
Now-
it now? It's Packers versus who?
The Bears.
Bears. Oh, Bears.
Now-
Oh, okay.
I will remind everybody that when Ben Johnson took the Bears job, the first thing he said is one of his favorite things he likes to do is beat Matt LaFleur. So I'm pretty sure Green Bay will remember that in this game. So to me, it just comes down to Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams, and who do you trust? And if it's Jordan Love versus the Bears defense or Caleb Williams versus the Packers defense, unfortunately, I will take Jordan Love in that matchup, and I see them winning 28-24.
Nice. I agree. I think Jordan Love is playing great football right now. Big fan of Jordan Love. So, and it's at the Packers. So I'm going to go 27-17 Packers.
Will Pick, you sound very, very distant. I'm not sure how close to the mic you are, but
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I agree. I think Jordan Love's playing great football right now. And it's at the Packer Stadium, so I'm going to go 27-17 Packers.
This is a tough one, simply because the way Chicago's actually been playing. And to your point, Tony, the run game has actually been pretty awesome with Chicago, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to stack up next to Green Bay in Green Bay. I'm going to actually go with the Packers 24-21.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm on the same page as all you guys. I don't know if they can go into Lambeau and win, even though they're playing great football right now. Packers defense is solid on both sides of the ball. Offense is playing well. I don't really believe in that Bears defense, but the running game has been giving them the time, so I get it while they're playing better. But I still think Green Bay wins. And I'll say 27-20.
Yeah, I got Green Bay 28-14.
okay. All right. Next one is the number 17 Houston Texans are at the number 10 Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. They are at home. This is the last hurrah for the Chiefs. They're 6-6. The Texans are right there with them at 6-6. But if they take this loss here, I think that's the final death nail for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think with the defense, the way the Houston Texans are playing right now, C.J. Stroud, he didn't look too great coming back off that concussion, but I think he'll be a lot better going into this game. They understand the sense of urgency and the moment that they have. And I think the Texans in an upset. I think they're going to win 21-17.
What's the spread? Oh, that's it?
That's it. Yep.
Son of a bitch, Hater. You actually stole my thunder there. That was the exact same thing that I was actually going to say. 21-17 Houston. I mean, exact. I just think that the Houston, they've got a lot playing to do too. I mean, and I think that Kansas City, they're nearing their deathbed. I mean, outside of Mahomes and stuff like that, I mean, I think that Andy Reid has just not been playing the game as well as he needed to, as well as he used to. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. 21-17. That was the exact same score that I was going to call.
I guess I'll be the contrarian. Until the Chiefs get knocked out of the playoffs, I'm gonna keep thinking that they're gonna make it just because of the pedigree. So, like you said, this is their make it or break it. They've got to win this game. So in Arrowhead, it's worth at least a field goal by itself. So I'm gonna go Chiefs 30, Texans 23.
Thunder, what takes? What you got?
Okay, so this is a weird game, and it should be a good one. Two really good defenses. Look, it basically comes down to if the Chiefs' offensive line is healthy and playing, if like Josh Emmons comes back, then they're going to win the game. The Houston Texans have been playing good, and their defense is amazing, but their offensive line is still one of the worst in football, and they're not going to be able to block the Chiefs. That's why we saw Jaden Higgins start to get a lot more work down under, which is good because they need to do that. And Schultz has been doing his thing under too, and they need to do more of that. However, it's kind of funny that Angry Joey mentioned Andy Reid because I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna take Andy Reid being able to manipulate this defense a little bit better than D'Amico can. So I'm taking the Chiefs. Like they said, it's in Arrowhead, and they need to win the game. So
Yeah.
Ooh, it looks like we're split right down the middle on this game.
Mr. Raider will be the decider. So, but I think it's going to be fairly low scoring. I'm taking the Chiefs 24-7.
Yeah. So I think that this is all conspiracy theory that the NFL is not going to want the Chiefs out of the playoffs. So I think the refs are going to eat that home cooking and give Pat Mahomes all the calls that he fucking wants. So I got the Chiefs winning by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be that bad. You're going to see some awful calls in that game that's going to go against the Texans. I bet you a soda on that.
All right. Make America angry. Great. All right. Well, the last game we're going to preview tonight for Week 14 is the number 6 Philadelphia Eagles. They are 2.5-point favorites going to the Los Angeles Chargers, who are number 15 on the week. The Eagles have lost 2 straight games, while the Chargers did win against the Raiders last week. But Justin Herbert did have surgery on his non-throwing hand, but he should be able to play. Man, I don't know what the Eagles are doing. I honestly don't. Offensively, they don't know what they want to do, and last week they got pushed around by the Bears. It was really, really bad. Fortunately, the Chargers' offensive line is on life support as well.
Yeah.
So, but I think Omarion Hampton's supposed to be coming back. I think
He's on track to play. Yeah, although Kamani's been great.
He's been good too.
The offensive line.
Yeah, and Harbaugh's gonna coach the hell out them boys, whoever's out there. So, but I think this is gonna be a get right game for the Eagles. And if Mr. Raiders, conspiracy sits right, they need the Chargers to lose and the Chiefs have to win to keep things interesting in that division. So, especially for playoff seeding. So, I think the Eagles are going to squeak this out. I don't know how, but I'm going to say 17-10 Eagles.
Oh man, this is a little bit of a tough one, because there was some flashes of brilliance, from the Eagles, especially with AJ Brown this last game. And Saquon Barkley, he has not been looking very, very good, but I am actually expecting a little bit of a bounce back. I think that they're going to be playing a little bit pissed off. I am actually going to be going I'm thinking the Eagles. Gosh, I think it's going to be a little bit more high scoring than people think. I'm guessing 32-24 Eagles.
I don't like Jalen Hurts. Been on record with that. I don't know what they're doing on offense, but the Chargers have their own issues. I'll just go with my initial prediction: Eagles 26, Chargers 20. So this one's a toss up to me. The Eagles are one of those teams that they either lose by 20 or they beat anybody. So it's hard to pick, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Pig. The Eagles just do this sometimes, and this is a game where you can come out and if they win by 20 points, we wouldn't really be surprised. It's just the way they are. I do think they got to get Saquon right. This is a game to do it because the Chargers are the best team in the league against the pass. So if not now, then when? So I'm going to go Eagles. I think it could be, even though I just said that I think it could be a little bit high scoring but Herbert likes to sling it. I hate the damn fractured hand. I hope he doesn't play. If he doesn't play, this game is totally different. Obviously, the Eagles win. If he plays even, I don't like it. He can be out of the game at any point. Either way, the Eagles win the game. I think pretty handily. I think they win by let's say 28-20. Something like that.
I think this game, the Eagles are gonna have a fire in them because of the embarrassment that happened to them, and keep in mind they are the Super Bowl champions. So I think that what's his name, Jordan Davis,
Jalen Carter. Yep.
Yeah, I think these boys are gonna feast on that offensive line from Charger offensive line. They're gonna have a field day. So Tony, we take some with you. I hope Justin Herbert don't play in this game because he's gonna fracture the other game.
Dude,
But
I know. I know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I know that they have playoff aspirations, right? But it's dude, come on, man. The dude had surgery today or something, Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy. You need to sometimes protect your best asset from himself.
He may be out there with a glove on his left hand or something, but I don't know.
But I have the Eagles by 10.
All right.
Yeah, local media. Local media. There was a local radio station there that they talk about the Eagles or whatever. They had the big news they had this week. They were comparing Jalen Hurts to Ben Simmons. So he's
oh my gosh, that's messed up.
That's disrespectful.
What a punch!
So yeah, it's brutal when your home radio station is starting to compare you to Ben Simmons. So
well, that's Philly for you, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
the dude just won him a Super Bowl.
Would you expect anything less from Philadelphia, though? Come on.
Yeah. They're a toxic relationship,
Yeah, they're a spoiled bunch of, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that's our week 14 preview. So that takes us to our sleeper studs, duds, and upsets for the week. And we got another tie at the top again. So Woo Pig and Mr. Raider have 18 points going into the week. Second place is with Angry Joey with 17. I'm in third right now with 15, and Tony Matakes is right behind me at 14. So
let me just say, this year will have an asterisk after it. And after I win this competition the next 3 years.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa,
yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Matakes? Okay. I will calm
because we're
down.
changing the rules this season to make it better.
Tony Matakes. I wouldn't do that. I won't go around making predictions like that.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
All right. Okay. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. Clearly you haven't learned your lesson. But anyway, we're gonna move on. I'll kick things off for this week. My sleeper of the week is Terry McLaurin. He's got to earn that money he got, and he got off to a good start last week in their Monday night game. Or against the Broncos. So I think he's going to continue that into this week. My start of the week is Travis Etienne. They got a big game coming up against the Colts, I believe, and so they're going to be looking to prove a point, and they have a chance to take over the division. And so I think they're going to have a big game this week. My dud of the week, Rashid Rice. Look, Houston's secondary is top notch, and I don't think between Jalen Petrie and
Stingley, baby.
Yeah, and Derek Stingley, between those two, he's not going to see a lot of daylight in this game. And so, and to be quite honest, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to want to test those dudes too much, and I think he's going to rely more on Travis Kelce in this game. And speaking of which, my upset of the week is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Indianapolis Colts, they're reeling, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for them. And the Colts are still favored for whatever reason. So I'm going to take advantage of that and take that 1.5 points and get my
easy.
Hey, I need a point. I'm right there. I'm only 3 points away from you guys. So hopefully you guys just strike out now. So next up, we'll we'll take it to the Mister back in the back at the podium again. So, Woo Pig, what you got, bro?
All right. So my sleeper of the week is Jacoby Myers, wide receiver
I like
for
that.
the
The
Jags.
law firm.
What's it?
The law
Nothing, go ahead.
firm of Kobe Myers.
Oh yeah. So Indy is a perfect matchup for his skill set. They struggled all year against like big body physical route runners. So I think this is a perfect game for Jacoby to have a great game. So he's become one of Trevor Lawrence's, favorite targets. So I think that this is going to be a good game for Jacoby. My stud is Christian Watson. I don't think the match could be better with Chicago's. While Chicago they have a pretty good defense. Jordan Love he's playing great this year, and I think when Watson's healthy, it's one of those he leads the deep targets, air yards, end zone opportunities. So it's one of his favorite targets again. So I think this is going to be a good game for Christian Watson as well. All right, my dud of the week is Bucky Irving.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Gonna be
there's a couple
mine too.
reasons for that. This is only his second game back from injury. I think they're going to take it easy on him. And the strongest reason why I'm doing it is because he's in my starting lineup and I'm playing Joey this week. So of course it's going to go wrong. That's just my luck. So yeah, I think Bucky Irvin, they're not like his usage percentage. He had a pretty good game last week, but he didn't have a lot of snaps. So I think they're going to take it easy on him again. So that's why I have him as my dud. And then my upset pick of the week are the Bengals over the Buffalo Bills. So the big reason is that the where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, Jalen Burrows. He's had, I think since December of last year, he hasn't lost a game that he started in. So he's, back healthy. And because of that, so yeah, eight straight games, he's 8-0 when he started. So it just seems like a perfect game where Burrow coming back in can have a great game
You
against
can't
the
play
Bills.
defense against Josh Allen.
That's that's true.
That's
But
gonna be
if they can force Josh Allen to one or two mistakes, I could see this being an upset. So that's my angle with Burrow back. I'm going to put the Bengals, and they just beat the crap out of the Ravens. So
Yes,
they
they
had a
did.
great game. So
Ravens are trash.
well, Lamar is hurt, and you can tell. Like it's so obvious, and it's
Yeah.
really hurting the whole team.
yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. Maybe Burrow can keep the streak alive. Maybe he can't. But my upset pick is the Bengals over the Bills.
You stole two of my freaking picks, man.
Wow.
You can still pick them.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
you can still pick them. Do you want us to skip you? Do you want to make
No,
another choice?
I'm ready. I have my stuff. So,
Okay.
sleeper, I'm gonna choose Jordan Addison. I think he's gonna have a really good game, even though the quarterback play is sus. I still think because he had I think he had 6, 7 targets last game, so they're gonna get him the ball some more. And Jefferson, he's starting to get pissed. So I think
Yeah.
I think that he's gonna have a lot more targets just because of what's going on there. My stud is gonna be this is a surprising one is Jalen Waddle. I think Waddle's gonna have a really good game. Uh, I think they're playing the Jets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
they are. In New
Yeah,
York.
I think he's gonna run circles around their secondary. Even though the Jets are starting to put it together, they still have missing a lot of pieces in that back side of the defense. And my dud is Bucky Irving. That's who I had. I'm not gonna change it. I'm gonna keep it there. My upset pick, I was gonna go with the Bengals, but now since Woo Pig did that, I'm gonna go a different route. Who's the favorite in the Steelers Ravens game? Is it the Ravens?
Steelers Ravens is
The
Baltimore
f-
-6.
yeah,
The
they're
Baltimore's
quite
the favorite. Yeah.
favored. Yeah.
Okay. So let me go ahead and go with the Steelers by an upset by 3.
Wow.
An upset.
Wow. Okay.
Living on the edge.
Woo. All right. Trusting Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Yeah, no. Anyway, that's all I got.
All right. Angry Joey, you're up next.
sorry for stealing your thunder there.
That's all right, man.
Great
That's the
minds,
reason
right?
why. There's a
Great
reason why
minds.
That's right. There's a reason why you and I are in first place.
Yeah, it's time for y'all to take
What
some
say you,
zeros.
Tony, with takes?
Doo-doo.
All right, Angry Joey, you're up.
So those are some really good takes there, Woo Pig, aside from the fact that you're playing me, which is pretty much an obvious thing. I mean, I'm going to kick your ass.
Well, that's
But
why
anyway.
I have Bucky Irvin, man.
Bucky's the man.
So as far as my stud, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, because he's actually outside the top 12, is Saquon Barkley.
What about your sleeper?
Well, my my stud is going to be Saquon Barkley playing against the Chargers. I think that he's going to play really good against them.
He's outside the top whatever our
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Oh, so there we go, Joey, taking the easy way out.
Hey,
Right.
man, whatever I can do to win.
Mhm. Whole lot of courage right there.
All right, my
That helps
dud.
nobody.
Okay, here's another easy one for you, Tony, and you're going to love this one. How about my dud for the week is going to be Kyle Pitts against Seattle.
Oh, Jesus.
My God.
A damn tight end on the line. Oh, my God.
Hey, man, rules are rules. I'm just saying. I didn't write it.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yep.
All right.
That qualifies.
I'll just pick 3 tight ends every week and win all of them.
All right. So my sleeper for the week is going to be RJ Harvey. I think that RJ Harvey is going to actually show out this week. Because who else do they have to go to? And then my upset.
Yeah, because you can't trust Bo Nix.
No, well, we'll see. They got some people to pass to. We'll see. They're playing against the Raiders, so it could be a pretty good.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. So I got to go with a Bronco at least. Come on, man. So now here's a one that you're not gonna like there, hater. My upset is gonna be Dallas over the Lions.
Ooh.
Fuck you, Angry Joey.
Well, you're gonna haters gonna be mad at me too then. All right.
Wow, y'all been. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Angry Joe.
All right.
Tony with taste. Go ahead.
Sorry, buddy. All right. My sleeper is Jordan Mason. So obviously we know Aaron Jones got hurt. He's probably not playing, but Mason is ranked super, super low. And I know it's probably because the offense has been friggin' terrible. JJ McCarthy may come back this week. And I know that's even crazy to hope JJ McCarthy comes back as terrible he's played before the injury, but they're playing. Who the heck they play? Who are they playing? I know they're terrible against running backs.
They're playing Washington.
Okay, so they're.
Hey Tony, just what are your guys' take on JJ McCarthy? By the way, I just want to get a catharsis on this one. I mean,
it's jury's still out. As bad as he's played, he does not look good. But remember, the guy, it was a young rookie last year who didn't throw a lot in college. He was injured all last year. Literally didn't play a snap in the regular season last year.
Right.
So it's basically like his rookie year, and then he's been hurt this year too. So, I don't love what I've seen, but there's flashes. So we got to give him a little benefit of the doubt and give him another year. Next year, he needs to improve, obviously.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to cast shade. I was just kind of wondering, what you guys' thoughts were on this guy. Because I mean, this is a dude that actually has a national championship. But we haven't seen anything from him. We don't know what we got with him. I mean, is he going to be better next year? What do we think we have with JJ McCarthy?
We don't fucking know.
Well, given the fact he's been a subject of a kiss my grits already, tells you what I already feel about him. But yeah.
Well, there's that.
But I do say that the Minnesota Vikings, the truth, I'll hold off on on the overall opinion, but JJ needs he needs to get another year, and then they can make their evaluation after.
Well, hater, make a note. We'll review the 6 quarterbacks from that draft class after the year.
I already got that written down.
All right,
cool. I apologize, Tony. I didn't mean to take any of your thunder, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
You coming in with the steel chair there, Angry Joy. But please continue, Tony, with thanks.
Okay, so basically, Jordan Mason, he's going to dominate. He's going to dominate touches and volumes, king for running backs. So Jordan Mason, my sleeper. My stud is Zay Flowers. Oh, my stud was going to be what was Woo Pig's stud? I thought that was going to be who?
Christian Watson.
That's right.
That was going to be my stud, but so that's probably a good pick, Woo Pig. But I went with Zay Flowers. He was terrible last week. But this is a division rival game against the Steelers, who are second worst against running backs, and they got to win this game, right? Against a shitty shitty secondary. You would think that they'd want to get him involved in this game after how much he wasn't. So I'm going to bet on a rebound and go with Zay Flowers as my stud. My dud is, I mean, it was really hard to come up with a dud this week. You know, most of the rankings are pretty predictable at this point in the season, but I went with Jonathan Taylor. The Jags have actually been really good against running backs lately, and it's a bottom 5 matchup for running backs. The biggest thing is ever since Indiana Jones broke his leg, he has not been running, and that's really affected the run game as a whole. So, and we've seen it the last 2 weeks. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, he's still getting his. He's still great. It's it's obviously a terrible. It's probably not likely to happen, but you can see a scenario where he doesn't perform quite up to the Jonathan Taylor standards. So yeah. And if I'm a Colts fan, I'm really worried about that injury because they haven't been the same. But they do think they get DeForest Buckner back soon, so that will help the defensive side. But either way, Jonathan Taylor is my dud. And my upset pick of the week. I am sorry, hater, but I didn't go easy. I could have went Commanders getting only 1.5 point underdogs. I could have went, like the Colts or the Jaguars plus 1.5. But I'm going Cowboys, who are actually 3-point underdogs. I was a little surprised by that. So, and I think they could easily win that game. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised. So sorry, buddy.
No. But honestly and truly, I am surprised that Vegas has us favored. I really don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like home field aside, but like, I mean, we got a mass unit, man. Like I feel like they're setting us up, and I think all they're trying to do is just like piss off Cowboy fans because they know that they'll start juicing that money. So I that's what I feel like right now, and it's just a trap. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, by the way, my dud was going to be Rashee Rice as well, so that's probably a good pick.
All right. Well, all right. That's our stud, duds, upsets, and sleepers.
Excellent. Okay. Anybody got any go backs? No? Okay. All right. Well, so this is the part where we move on to an Alamo Minute or Kiss My Grits. Alamo Minute is for if you want to shout out a person, a business, something good has happened to you, something positive. And then a Kiss My Grits is somebody is getting on your nerves or a situation that is just annoying. Whatever you want to get off your chest, you can use that time to do so. So we'll just turn it over to you first there, Hater with Facts. You got a Alamo Minute, Kiss My Grits, or both?
This is going to be shocking. I do not have a Kiss My Grits or actually, I do have Alamo Minute, actually. It's going to be a local one. Even though the Michigan Wolverine football team wet the bed, but the Michigan Wolverine basketball team, they had a tournament out there. They had a regular season tournament out in Vegas this weekend, and they beat San Diego State, Auburn, and Gonzaga. They beat them all at an average of 45 points. Dang. I have not seen a college basketball team, a Michigan basketball team, look this good in a very long time. So I just wanted to shout out there the Michigan basketball team, men's basketball team. Dusty May, the head coach out there. I mean, he's found some diamonds in the rough, and they are balling, man. So I think they can. I think they can play with anybody. That's including Michigan State, Duke, North Carolina. I don't care. The way that they're playing, they're going. As long as they stay healthy, they should be a Final Four team. It might be a championship team. I'm willing to call that right now. So Alamo, salute to them.
All right, like it, Angry Joey.
If I had to say something, as far as an Alamo Minute, I got to say, man, this was one of the finest week of football that I've seen in a long time. And has nothing to do with the fact that things kind of tilted my way and, with the Broncos winning and stuff like that, but this was some of the best football I have seen in a minute. So kudos to the NFL. I thought the officiating was pretty well done for a change, well officiated. I thought that they put out a very, very good product. I thought that in college football, just fantastic games throughout, all the landscape. So kudos to the NFL and college football. They put out a really, really good product this last week. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody post Thanksgiving, whatever. But that's all I got.
All right, Woo Pig.
Yeah, I've got Kiss My Grits for
Here we go.
Yeah. So Kiss My Grits is for Hunter Yurchek, the Arkansas AD. What in God's name are you doing? Ryan Silverfield. What? What? Why did you hire the same dude you just fired and put him in charge and think it's going to make a difference? You just fired Sam Pittman for having an offense with no defense. So you hire a dude from Memphis that's known for having an offense with no defense. We hired Sam Pittman because at the time, financially, we couldn't afford to go after the big names. But after Sam Pittman, you had the money, you could have gone for some big name, and instead you went to the Dollar General bargain basket and got Silverfield. It's just it annoys more than just me. Arkansas fans across the state are mad. There's already been protests. We're just irritated, especially considering the fact Alex Golish was our first choice, right? And he got snatched up by Auburn. I get that. But the next name on the list was Kane Womack. He's the defensive coordinator for Alabama. Perfect. Keep Petrino as your offensive coordinator, hire a defensive-minded coach, and move forward. But instead, you do this, and we're going to lose Petrino. Worst case, you just keep Petrino. Make him the head coach. He's an offensive-minded coach. So this makes absolutely no sense. You need to get it together, or we're going to be looking for a new head coach and a new AD very, very soon. So, kiss my grit.
All right. I like it. Okay, well, so I don't have an Alamo minute, but I do also have a Kiss My Grits. And this right here, this is specifically for these Ole Miss fans that were inappropriate to Lane Kiffin and his family, or trying to run him off the road. Those specific fans I'm talking about. Get that chapstick ready. Come on down here. I got something to say to you. It's sports. You don't be trying to run a man and his family off of the road because you're upset that he broke up with you. That goes beyond anything. With enough violence we have going on around this country right now, we don't need that shit over sports. So for those fans that did that, kiss my grits and kiss my grits again. All right.
That's all I got.
Well said.
Nice.
That's all I got. Well, thank y'all for listening and supporting us. So if you want to get a hold of us, again, don't be afraid. And my Apple listeners, we got a lot of those. Come to the Discord. Interact with us. We will interact with you. But if you want to know how to further get in touch with us, head to Facts. Tell them what they can do.
Yes. So we are available in the podcast feeds of Apple, Spotify, and Overcast at The 210 Show. We're also available on YouTube at The 210 Show Pod. We have the link to the Discord that Mr. Rader just talked about that you could join us at. You can leave us. Please engage with our content over there. And please hit the subscribe button on over there and hit that bell so you get notified when we drop new pods out there. And please tip the bartender on the way out by hitting that thumbs up button. If you want to hit us up by email, we got Jay at the210show.com or Hater, H8R with FAQS at the210show.com.
Perfect. Okay. Great show, gentlemen. Everybody, I appreciate you listening to us. God bless. Take care of each other. Have a good night.
Whoopee.